Come up and make your pick. The aviators have asked for extra time.
So the San Diego Aviators taking just a little bit of extra time. There are 5 minutes normally between all of the draft picks. Now remember, the Aviators have just the one player, Naomi Brody, that they've locked down on the protection side. So they're going to need to add some players to their roster. So important considerations right now.
It is. And of course, you want to pick in the right order so you can maximize getting the strongest possible team. And it's a bit of a cat and mouse game, isn't it? You've got to keep your cards close to your chest. John Lloyd's pretty good at doing that.
Let's see what they decide. It looks like Jim is making his way up to the podium. So just a couple more moments as they make their final pick. Of course, Fred Luddy, the owner of the San Diego Aviators, winning the title in 2016. Interesting that when they won the title, they beat the Orange County Breakers. Last year's championship, the Breakers beating the Aviators. So a little bit of revenge for the Breakers.
San Diego Aviators will take for their first round pick, Marcus Willis.
Wow. Nice pick there, Marcus Willis.
Speaking about guys who got big games, again, a guy who'll be using his leftiness to a maximum benefit. Big serve, very clean striker of the ball is Willis.
Yeah, and he comes in with a nice story as well. He's got some real appeal. And I think as a player, I mean, his experience in World Team Tennis will help. The fact that he's played a little bit in the past. Mm-hmm. And what do you like best about his game?
I like the fact that he goes for broke under pressure, and I think that's the kind of mindset you've got to have in World Team Tennis. I think if you're one of these guys who's a little bit of tentative mindset, you're just happy to put balls in play, you're going to be in trouble. Guys who have the go for broke attitude, again, I think 65% of the time they're going to get the right result rather than somebody who's always trying to play the percentages, Leaf. You go along with that?
Yeah. I do like a little more aggressive style of play in World Team Tennis. A player who can apply pressure, build the pressure, hopefully to their advantage.
Yep.
But nothing wrong with steady guys who seem to deal with pressure well. The rally tolerance is a key.
It's all about finding the right balance. But given a 50-50 decision, I'll go with the power
final
player.
Pick in the first round goes to the Orange County Breakers. Eric Davidson, the owner, will be making the pick.
So here's Eric Davidson. Of course, his first year of ownership, and the Breakers win the title.
The Orange County Breakers are very excited to pick Marcelo de Miline from Brazil to join our team and another run to the championship, hopefully. Thank you.
Yeah, Demoliner out of Brazil, pretty accomplished player. Nice little addition because he can play.
Yeah, he's got a big game, big serve, patrols the net well. I think he'll slot in well in mixed doubles too. I think from a player like Marcel, you're going to get a guy who's got pliability. Always important in the league to have one of those kind of guys.
Yeah. All right, so Demoliner goes to the Breakers, looking to defend the title, and gives you a summary as he. All right, let's hold that. Here's the round one recap. Tennis Sandgren, Amanda Anisimova. Get that name right because we're going to remember that name for quite a while, the way she's playing. Vanya King, nice addition for the Lasers. Titania Maria for the Empire. Marcus Willis and Marcelo Demoliner of the Breakers. So that's some pretty nice additions. I think all the teams are going to be happy.
Yeah, definitely. And tough to decide who's come out on top there as far as the picks are concerned. But I think Marcin is going to be delighted by getting Tennis Sandgren. Perhaps he could be a game changer for the Castles this season, especially after all the success they've had previously. I think it was a big shock for them to struggle last season.
All right, here's round 2. Lana Klaus.
First pick in the second round, Washington Castles. They have requested extra time to work on a trade. It will be a 15-minute time for you to do that.
So here's a look at the Brain Trust. Marcin, along with his longtime coach Murphy Jensen, leaning in and trying to get this pick right. Marcin has had so much success over the years. Castles winning 5 consecutive titles as well as a 6th title back in 2009. So they are the team to watch, I suppose, the New York Yankees of World Team Tennis.
Yeah, it's created an incredible franchise there in DC. We've had the who's who of Washington present at many of his games. Great vibe, good energy, and it's a big reason why the team has been so successful over the years. And it wasn't until I played World Team Tennis, I never understood in other sports the advantages of playing at home versus playing away. For me, it was, as tennis players, we're always playing away, so it wasn't a big deal. And it was only until I played World Team Tennis and that you see the same family sitting in the same box who know your name, they know your kid's name, you know their kids, and you start to forge this bond with everybody in the stadium, everybody who supports you week in and week out at home. And it's incredible how much more energy you find in those tough nights, isn't it, Leaf, where you get the extra 10 or 15% playing at home. So important that the owners create the right atmosphere in their own backyard.
Yeah, and I think most of the owners do create that kind of advantage. It's certainly huge. It's a home court match. If you can protect your home court, you've got a shot in the race. Remember, 6 teams, 2 ultimately will play down into the championship match for the King Trophy on August 5th. So there's no conference championship. You get right into the championship match. So every home match is invaluable.
It's of vital importance. And as we've seen in the league over the last decade or so, it's the smallest of margins that decide the outcome of these matches. You go into super tiebreakers and the likes, and 1 point decides whether you win or lose.
That's right. 1 point for the game, possibly 1 point for the set. Possibly 1 point for the match if it comes down to a 13th point in a super tie break. So this is why they take a little more time to get these things right. Marcin, of course, Marcin recently purchased a small newspaper in Washington, D.C., so he's now a newspaper publisher, I suppose, as well as a owner here in World Team Tennis. So congratulations to Mark on that new acquisition. But again, he plants lots of wonderful roots in the community, and he's done that with World Team Tennis, and I suppose he's going to extend that to a few other things of his. So it's good to see. But I think he's been one of those kinds of additions that the league has really needed. A guy who's, taken it. He's got cheerleaders, and he's built it up to the point where it is really the dynasty of the last decade.
Yeah, deeply passionate about the sport. So nice to have owners like him who love the game certainly as much as we do. Plays a lot himself. Does have a dodgy forehand, though.
Does he?
Got to mention that.
We'll remind people about that. Of course, Francis Tiafoe, who's also from the D.C. area indirectly, Maryland, really, College Park is where he played his junior tennis. He was wearing a Washington Castles cap after he won his Del Rey title for all the interviews he did, as well as his involvement in the Laver Cup. So I think Marcin has generated a lot of good feelings around his team. The players who do play for him really have a family feel. Getting ready for Marcin to take the dais here in just a moment. A couple of last words, and here he comes.
Definitely the best thing about these breaks is getting to listen to Leaf and Robbie. Thank you guys for adding so much insightful commentary. For everyone in the room and watching on TV. To kick off the second round, the Castles are going to bring back someone who played for us last year, Robert Lindstedt.
Yeah, Robert Lindstedt, a very potent player. This guy is a tremendous doubles player, very intimidating with his power and his speed, his precision around the court. This guy's a handful.
Well, you talk about playing one-strike tennis at its very best. This is what you get in this package. As you can see with the serve, it's a similar sort of deal on the returner serve. And he's a big fella, is Robert Lindstedt. Very intimidating at the nets, and I think he's going to be stellar in mixed doubles as well. I think he's a welcome addition to the Castles franchise.
Yeah, and again, you have to shore up the doubles lineup because World Team Tennis, the doubles is 3 sets of play.
Yep.
And obviously, with mixed doubles, you got to get those doubles points.
Yeah, and also having somebody who has played mixed doubles, because I think it's of vital importance, understanding how that dynamic works, because it's very different to what happens on the men's doubles court. Mixed doubles, you've got to dominate perhaps a little bit more.
Up next, Craig Carden will be making their pick, their coach.
Craig Carden, coach of the Freedoms for a long time. Of course, tremendous experience as a coach, having worked with Martina Navratilova for a number of years, as well as having worked with Coco Vandeweghe most recently.
Yep.
So he knows his way around the tennis court. He knows his way around World Team Tennis.
Good morning, afternoon. For the second round, the Philadelphia Freedoms select Georgia Tech grad Kevin King.
Yeah, again, a nice pick for Philadelphia. Kevin King, when you come out of the college experience, gives you a lot of sort of, well, ways of dealing with pressure and playing for people other than just yourself.
100%. You come under the microscope on a regular basis when you're playing college tennis, and it's a similar sort of story when you're playing in World Team Tennis. I've seen a lot of good players struggle in their first season because they're not used to so many pressure situations on such a regular basis, and suddenly you look over to the side of the court there, and you know there's 4 or 5 other people that you're representing, Leaf.
Yeah,
that's big.
Exactly. Yeah.
Next pick goes to the Springfield Lasers.
So Babolat, Paul Nahan, and just taking a couple moments to get this pick right. Up to 5 minutes as they look over the list of players that have made themselves eligible for the draft this year. So they are literally on the clock. Of course, Springfield looking for their first title. They've been in the championship match a number of times, but looking to cross over into the winner's circle. They've been close. They've got good leadership, as you said, in their captain. And they've got a wonderful facility that they play at, a beautiful sunken court at the Cooper Tennis Complex. So you feel like this team is always poised to make the move.
Yeah, and you talk about a community team. They've done an unbelievable job there of really involving the community. You know, year-round they work on informing everybody in the area about the upcoming World Team Tennis. And again, I know my good friend JL, he goes over there a couple of times a year to garner support for the team. Let everybody know about it.
With our second pick, the Springfield Lasers are pleased to welcome Serbian Mijomir Kecmanovic to the league.
So Kecmanovic added to the roster for Springfield. Cheers.
Yeah. This guy has got some serious game. One of the top juniors in the world, in fact, number 1. I think one of the few youngsters ever to win the Orange Bowl 18s in back-to-back years is Kecmanovic. Big, strong boy. And I think he is going to be a welcome addition.
It seems like we say that about all the guys who are coming to the big, strong guy. It seems like the athleticism is growing and only getting better.
Yeah, and this guy's only 18 or 19 years of age. So, again, for a guy to be as athletic as he is, I think this is going to be a fantastic experience for him. I think it's going to help his...
the next pick.
I think it's going to be an invaluable experience for him. Also, when he, goes back onto the regular tour, and under good tutorship, I think it's going to be a very interesting 3 weeks for the Springfield Lasers, their first 2 picks, and Vanya King and Kekmanovic. I think have got a good duo right there.
So the New York Empire are on the clock. Coach Fernandez making some decisions about which direction they want to go. Remember, they've locked up a few players in terms of re-signing. John Isner, Marty Fish, Jeannie Bouchard, Neil Skupski already on their protected list. Now looking to add to the roster of more permanent full-season players.
With the second round, the New York Empire pick dual Kalamazoo champion, up-and-coming American, Denis Novikov.
Yeah, Denis Novikov, that's a strong pick. This is a wonderful player who had a couple of strong seasons in World Team Tennis. This guy's another, do we mention strong, tall, physical players? He's another one of them.
Yeah, and the fact that he's had experience in the league, for me, counts a lot. Each and every year that you have behind your name, you know, all things being equal, it's a major little nugget to have if you want the team owners to go after you. And I think that's what Denis certainly has in his locker. A guy can play well from the baseline, not scared to come in. He's got many tools in his game.
Yeah, nice player from the back. And you can see willing to make that transition into the net when available. I mean, that's I think that's a big part of it. It's tough in World Team Tennis with the pressure on so intensely to always stay back. I mean, you're going to have times when you have to come in. And I think Novikov is learning that as a young player and also playing under pressure. I mean, it's absolutely vital that you deal with pressure and handle the emotions that come with playing in this league.
Absolutely. And so having experience previously counts for a lot. These are all the factors that these team owners and team coaches have to weigh up. And of course, when you're looking for a player that gets taken away from you, suddenly you have to do a quick summation of everybody else that you have left. So that's why the time in between the picks is so important, folks.
Yeah, because you're obviously evaluating what you have, what you need, what players have made themselves eligible, and then making the right decision. And this is a commitment for the season. It's an investment in hopefully raising the King Trophy at the end of the season. So it's hugely vital.
Absolutely.
San Diego Eagles, second round pick, will take Marcin Matkowski. Thank you.
Marcin Matkowski, very talented doubles player, and it's going to be a very strong addition.
Marcin, a major winner, of course. And when you talk about firepower and a guy with a rubber arm, he fits right into that category. One of the hardest hitters that I've ever come across. And again, he's a guy who's went through the college system as well. He's been on the tour for a long time. And the fact that he's played World Team Tennis, massive advantage. He understands that team environment so well.
Yeah, nice move by San Diego. Remember, they had Marcus Willis in the first round.
Orange County Breakers have the final pick in round 2.
So here's Coach Rick Leach.
Hello. For our second round pick, the Orange County Breakers will select Stéphane Robert.
Well, I have watched a lot of this guy. I think he is going to be the nugget in the league this year. He is such an intelligent player, can play really good singles and doubles. He's the kind of player who's got an unusual game. He's always coming forward, a real throwback to the mid-'80s, early 90s. Can flatten out the ball. He's got great touch. And he can cause a lot of problems for opponents. He's got the ability to take the racket out of the hand of opponents when he's serving well. And he's one of these cool, calm customers. Great to have in the team environment. He's never going to get too excited. He's never going to get down on himself either. And I think Murphy Jensen, as we saw last year, got the best out of him.
I mentioned at the top of the draft how each of the 6 teams were looking for men's singles, and you can see round 2, indeed, reflecting the interest in the men that were available. Lindstedt, King, Kekmanovic, Novikov, Matkowski, and Robert. Yeah, some nice additions there.
Yeah, you got a lot of different countries as well represented there. That's always nice. World Team Tennis reaches far and wide around the globe.
That's right. Got a couple of Kings in the draft. We've got Kevin King in Philly. We've got Vonnie King in Springfield. I'm not sure Darian King is going to make himself available this year, but he did play last year for the Freedoms. All right, let's get to round 3.
And at the start of round 3, the Washington Castles have the first pick.
Yeah, Mark Ein working the phones there, and obviously, you know, they had so much tremendous success, the Castles, over the years, and he's probably looking, okay, you know, I want to revisit that success, get back there. I know the Sacramento Capitals had 6 titles, the Castles in the last decade, now with 6. I mean, I'm sure in his mind he'd like to be the greatest franchise ever. That would help in that argument.
It certainly would. Took a breather last year, didn't he? Thought I'd better let some of the other guys give them a chance, but it's back to business for Mark this season, and taking careful consideration about who he wants in the first pick of this 3rd round. He's building a nice team already with his first 2 picks. Plenty of experience as well. He'll think long and hard about it. No rush decisions, of course. A very smart businessman as well. Everything is well considered by Mr. Ein.
Yeah, and obviously he will use the input of Murphy Jensen, who's been a coach now for some time.
And it's nice to have people that you can bounce ideas off. Of course, Murphy's been around for so long, coached and played so much. And this particular format, 3-time Coach of the Year is Jensen. So it's a good combination. Is it the brains trust?
No doubt about it. And Murphy also brings the passion, which is really instrumental in part of it, building that team unity, building the chemistry. And you can see, am I making the right decision? And they've got a couple of men. They've already got Tennis Sandgren, and they've also got Robert Lindstedt. You know, will they go with another man? Will they go with a woman? Which woman will they select? Here's Murphy Jensen going to make his way to the table. Hello. So here's Murphy Jensen, former Roland Garros doubles champion himself, alongside his brother Luke. Both the brothers played team tennis.
First pick in the 3rd round, the Washington Castles select Nicole Millikar.
So Nicole Millikar. So they did go, importantly, with the women, and that's going to be an addition they'll need. Remember, they've already locked up Madison Brengel as one of their protected players, so they will have some singles. And Millikar will be an addition for both singles and possibly doubles.
Yeah, again, it's so important to find the balance in the team, isn't it? And I guess it was, after careful consideration, was it another guy? Was it another girl?
The Philadelphia Freedoms.
So Barbara Perry and the Philadelphia Freedoms next up. Of course, Philadelphia already with Amanda Anisimova and Kevin King. Let's see which direction Barbara Perry is going to go.
The Freedoms, for our third round pick, we select the South African, the 9th ranked player in the world, Kevin Anderson.
Wow, excellent, excellent addition. And Kevin Anderson, wow, a guy who's playing some brilliant tennis, a top 10 player now, and a titleist at the New York Open. And he's just been playing some big-time ball.
Yes, of course, a US Open finalist last year. Made the finals in Acapulco just a couple of days ago. And tell you what, with Fabrice and Kevin there in doubles, there's going to be plenty of elevation sensation on that team. But Kevin's spoken to me at length about World Team Tennis, loves it, loves playing it, and there's been a rich history with the South Africans actually playing in World Team Tennis. Many of us over the years have been an integral part of it, thanks to Ilana Kloss, who's been so instrumental in bringing us all on board. And we've thoroughly enjoyed our time there. It really has benefited our tennis immensely.
As if Anderson needs any more good work in his game. He's already put in a lot, but no doubt an incredible addition for Philadelphia, because you've got to feel like he's going to be a tough out. You know, you get games in the singles, games in the doubles because of the serve he brings, and it's going to be impressive.
Have the next pick. Paul Nahan, the general manager, will be making the pick.
For the third round, Springfield Lasers pick Daniel Nestor.
Daniel Nestor, the Canadian, the veteran. Multiple Grand Slam winner, got some World Team Tennis experience, Davis Cup experience. He's got some talent.
I tell you what, there's only one way to introduce this guy, and whenever I speak about him as recession-proof. Daniel Nestor. This guy's been around a long time and played at the highest level of the game, both in singles and doubles. I've never played against a guy, certainly on the doubles court, Leaf, that is as clutch as Danny Nestor. Big points, the guy delivers time and time again. So I think the Lasers have done well there.
Yeah, no doubt a great addition. I mean, this is a guy who has played and had success at every level of the game and in so many different ways. So you bring him onto a lineup, he's going to be good in the locker room, he's going to be good on court.
He's very good in the locker room. He's a funny guy, he's got a dry sense of humor, and I think he'll be the glue
New York
in that
Empire
team.
have the next pick.
So, Gigi Fernández, thinking about what's going to happen.
For the third round, the New York Empire pick Maria Jose Sanchez Martinez.
Maria Jose Sanchez Martin. Going with the four-name player. Good pull by Gigi.
Yeah, perfect pronunciation as well. Yeah, of course, a very versatile player. One of the few women whose natural game is to serve and volley. And
San
again,
Diego Aviators have the next pick.
Yeah, moving along quickly now as the Empire step up. Yeah, Maria Sanchez Martin, a left-hander who can really play. She's been ranked as high as 4 in the world. So that's going to be valuable for the Empire. San Diego's on the clock now. Jim Alt alongside John Lloyd. Alt, the GM. Fred Luddy is the owner. And this is all unfolding today at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. Already a couple men in their draft order, Marcus Willis and Marcin Matkowski. We'll see, most likely going to go in the direction women's singles, women's doubles consideration, obviously having to fill out the lineup. We'll see what Jim Alt has in mind.
Third round draft pick will be Annalie Gronenfeld. Excited having her on the team. Thank you.
Yeah, Annalena Gronenfeld. Very accomplished player. And she's got valuable World Team Tennis experience, too. So this is a very solid pick. She's dependable on a court, and you need to have that.
Yeah. Day in and day out. And you talk about consistency. She's got a wonderful blend of being a consistent player, but also has a fair bit of firepower to her game. Can go between mixed doubles and singles seamlessly.
So here's Orange County.
I love players with character as well, personality. So important to have that when you're part of this league. Good team player.
The Orange County Breakers are passing with their pick. We'll be taking a short break.
So Lana Klaus just taking a short break for the moment.
This concludes the live draft. We'll now go to Robbie Koenig, who will recap for everybody. And we want to wish everybody a hugely successful 2018 season. And may the best team win. Let's have a great competition. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ilana. And things have unfolded beautifully as far as the team owners are concerned. And I hope everybody is satisfied with the picks that they have had. And as far as this 43rd edition of World Team Tennis is concerned, we're just going to recap some of the picks and show you who the respective teams have gone for. The Washington Castles with the first round pick went with Tennis Sangren. Of course, Robert Lindstedt was first pick of the second round, and Melchior was their third round pick. The Freedoms have got a young gun in Anisimova, King, and Kevin Anderson, the big tall South African, adding plenty of firepower to the Freedoms. The Springfield Lasers have gone with Vanya King. They've gone with a youngster in Kekmanovic that I think is going to bring a lot of energy to that team. And then, of course, as I said, recession-proof Danny Nestor. And the Empire as well got a couple of important picks in their lineup. We've got Novikov and Martinez Sanchez, a few women being picked in that final round. Marcus Willis and Marcin Matkowski for the Aviators, and Elena Grunefeld as well, an integral part of that team. And then, of course, the Breakers, we'll see Marcelo Demolina and Stefan Robert. As I mentioned, I think Stefan Robert is going to be a little nugget in the league this season. He's got an unusual game, He will come in a lot. He'll get in the grill of a lot of his opponents. And his serve and volley style is going to cause all kinds of problems for many an opponent. So pretty well balanced looking through those 6 teams. Some big decisions for the coaches to make, and that's what everybody is playing for, the King Trophy. And the final roster, the full list of everybody involved. We've made some of those additions to the breakers. We've got Klepak and Wickmeyer now added to their respective rosters. The Castles, we've got Bob and Mike Bryan, we've got Venus Williams, Madison Brengle. As far as the Freedoms are concerned, their final 3 players in Sloane Stevens, Taylor Townsend and Fabrice Martin. Let's not forget Jack Sock for the Springfield Lasers to accompany Danny Nestor, and Miomir Kekmanovic, Abigail Spears as well. John Isner in the New York Empire. Eugenie Bouchard adding plenty of her experience. Marty Fish and Neil Skupski, who's played a couple of times. I think a fantastic addition to the Empire. So remember, the season starts on July the 15th. I think that, if memory serves me correct, that is the night of the Wimbledon finals and runs for 3 weeks. Very much looking forward to all of you joining us over that period of time. And make sure you go to WTT.com to check out any additional information that you want to know. From Leif Sharris and myself, Rob Koenig, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on board.